going to talk about the Ravens and the Rams. Stafford is who I told you guys he is, okay?
Right.
There's no quarterback that's going to go into the playoffs that has as much pressure as he has on him right now. That's one. Two, you can't make those same mistakes in the playoffs. He's lucky that they didn't have Lamar. If they had Lamar, they wouldn't have won that game. He throws a pick six and throws two other interceptions. One of them was to Odell Beckham, where Skip Bayless, as a supporter of guys who talk sports, and I love to be that guy as well.
Right.
You gotta take your head out of your woo-ha.
Yeah.
Because you're blaming Odell for a pass that Matthew threw into triple coverage. Odell never called for the ball. He had three people on him. You had a route right underneath that you could have threw to. So
yeah, Jefferson was wide open.
Wide open. He should have been in jail. He was streaking. Butt naked. Okay? He didn't go to ball up. That's not Odell's fault. Okay? That's one thing I'm trying to do, especially with us doing all the stuff, is we gotta chop down some of this slander and this entertainment value talk that these guys do on these TV shows, because it's blasphemous. You know what I mean? The receiver depends on the quarterback to get him the ball. I, at no point in time in that clip, seen Odell with his hand raised. And you know as well as I know, 9 times out of 10, if a receiver raises his hand, he assumes that he's open. And if the quarterback sees it, he throws him the ball. That wasn't the case. Matthew Stafford has got so much to prove right now that I think that in itself is causing him to do these things.
Right.
Think about it. He went from Detroit, the bottom of the bottom, to the Rams. And you know what I call them? A lot of people think I'm a dickhead for this. I call them the dollar store Avengers. They've got so many stars, yet they're like that guy off of Life. Just can't get right.
Right.
You know what I mean? McVay, great. He's a good play caller.
Right.
But I believe that he's not that smart as an individual.
Oh, really? You don't believe in McVay?
I believe that he's good, but I don't believe that he's great. Not yet. One trip to the Super Bowl is one trip to the Super Bowl. I mean, Kyle Shanahan did that. We gonna call Kyle Shanahan a genius? I mean, aside from the injuries, you know what I mean, to his team, he's not really doing he's not reinventing the wheel.
Right.
So, what is your take on the game, sir?
Yeah, I would have to agree with a lot of your assessment. I actually watched that game from beginning to end, and I do believe that Matthew Stafford is pressing. He is pressing. He knows that he hasn't had a good December, and he's starting off January that's not good as well, and it will behoove him to be to correct his mistakes, because as we all know, the NFL playoff is one and done, and pick six, ill-advised pass to a triple covered Odell Beckham, that can send you home, because not every team in the NFC are going to be as depleted or as injury riddled as the Ravens. And even though they won by 1 point, and as we talk about Odell Beckham, he had 2 crucial catches: the 4th down and the touchdown. Without that, we wouldn't have this discussion that we're having. Well, we will be having a different discussion on like what's wrong with Matthew Stafford, or the Rams even good enough to make it past the first round. So I am a big supporter of John Harbaugh. I think he is the great coach. I've known some coaches, if their team is that depleted the lowest. It's incredible that he he still have his team fighting hard every week, knowing that they have nothing to play for but their pride. And by by that said, I salute him. Like he is he just might be my favorite coach out the whole league. Just the way that his guys play for him and him listening to his players. See, I like that because you know, as a coach, you can only put your players in the best position to win. And as a player, you're supposed to tell your coach, "Hey, this is how it looks out there." And I think this is what we need to do because I'm dealing with the I'm dealing with the situation in real time. You're just watching. So I like that um, continuity with coach and players, right? And him still having uh, a real grasp of his whole team and his organization, and to trust him. Um, as as far as the Rams, I like Sean McVay, right? Um, I like their D, but I think he needs to really sit Matthew Stafford down and have a heart to heart. Like, look, man, I understand that we are stacked. We have Cooper Cup, Jefferson, OBJ. Um, so Sony Michelle is running out of his mind because I ain't gonna lie, I did not have faith in Sony Michelle until 3 weeks, 3 weeks back. You know what I'm saying? When he restarted toting that rock. I mean, because honestly, I was waiting on Cam Akers to come back, but Sony Michelle showed me something. They are on paper. They were on paper. They were my pick for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Right. Right now, they are making me a whole liar out here. Right. On the field, they're making me a whole liar, and I don't like being looked like a liar. But I do watch the game objectively, and my eyes do not lie, and my eyes are telling me that they are a good team on paper. But Matthew Stafford, he is pressing. I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if maybe because he's been in Detroit and nothing was like how do I say it? He didn't have that much pressure because we all know that Detroit will either make the playoff and get bounced off. Excuse me. I don't know, but he just needs to, like you said, get his head out his two cheeks and realize like what's in front of him. That he do have a good team, a good defense, running game, and receivers. Offensive line is decent. It's not Tampa Bay's offensive line, but it is decent. It do give them time to get rid of the ball accurately to the open person. So yeah, those are my thoughts there.
Okay, so first things first, I have to ask you a question to address something that you said. So you're saying you prefer John Harbaugh over Thomason? Because I mean, I think they're the same coach.
I do. I will only say that because Tomlinson have he let his skill players kind of do whatever they want.
Okay.
I.e., Antonio Brown, Juju, and now Claypool. Claypool that cost him that at that game at Minnesota doing this when it was only 10 seconds on the clock. That's not. Of course, the player is going to get hyped, but discipline would have had them like, hey, I can do this right now. We have a game to win. Non-disciplined players are going to act up, i.e., Antonio Brown, again, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Chase Claypool. So I will give the slight edge to John Harbaugh.
Okay. Now, another thing is, we did bang on the offense, but are we forgetting about the defense? I mean, they've got Von Miller, Ramsey, Donald. Those guys aren't really producing the way they should defensively to give them short fields. So when I talk about the Rams, and I feel the same thing, I think you feel the same way as I do. When we're talking about the Rams, it seems like we're picking on the offense, but we're talking about the whole team in general, saying that they're not. Yet again, like I said, I call them the dollar store Avengers. You know, you got all these stars, but things aren't aligning. You know, I'm not saying they're supposed to be blowing people out, but you're playing the Ravens that are super depleted defensively and offensively, and you only win by 1 point. Their defense, who's got what? Their third, fourth string. I think they pick people up off the street for their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Give you issues?
Well, I believe their defensive woes is their schemes and their philosophies, right? I believe they were stronger when they had Wade Phillips. Unfortunately, Wade Phillips is up there at age. He can't be in a coaching position. I personally like Wade Phillips because he knew how to draw up schemes for Aaron Donald and the linebackers, right? And just let the quarterbacks do what they can. And the one thing that and I love about Wade Phillips' scheme that he always have he will always bring pressure with only his front four.
Yeah.
Right? And with what's his name? That a young cat. He used to be a coach for us. He used to be a defensive back coach for us, but he was also the youngest head coach for Tampa Bay. But he's their defensive coordinator, black kid. I forget his name. And forgive me. Next time I will bring notes and fact checks. So he's more bend but don't break, right?
Yeah.
And letting Aaron Donald do his own thing, which it works, but they don't look as strong, or excuse me, they don't look as stout.
Okay.
Right? And yesterday's game in particular, it was hard for them, of course, with the Ravens backup quarterback, which name escapes me right now. Huntley, he is a running quarterback, and he does know how to escape the pocket. Still, though, it felt like they couldn't bring pressure with just their front four, right?
Yeah.
And that puts a lot of pressure on the linebackers and the safeties to bring more and more pressure in. Even though Von Miller had that last sack just to win the game, but that's what they brought Von Miller in. That's why I'm not really on the defense that much because I know they're more bend but on break, right? And the Rams are more so they like to display their offense out there much more than their defense, right? Because McVay is a offensive guy and he works personally with the quarterbacks or his quarterback. Yeah. I believe moving forward, if they really want to have success, he needs a strong DC, like a strong one, not a bend, don't break. But next draft, they need to get another pass rusher because I mean I love Von Miller, but he's a shell of himself. He's not. He will get you one sack, but we don't know when. Is it in the beginning of the game or just like yesterday's game at the last play, right? So just I believe that they need to work more on generating pressure with their front four and everything. That they will look stout, but right now they're a bend but don't break defense. So that's why I'm not really talking about them like that.
Okay. All right. Well, in general,
Uh huh.
you think the Ravens can find a way to still get into the playoffs? Because
In
Cincinnati
general,
pretty much locked it up, right?
yes, they did. Lock that thing up. Locked it up. Joe Barrow, Jamar Chase, baby goat.
Oh,
Let them know this
you call
thing.
him baby goat? Nah, I can't
Yeah,
do
I
it
call him
yet.
baby goat. Yeah,
Can't do
I
it.
believe in the hype. I'm sorry, man, but I believe in the hype, man. I believe in the hype. Um, but that's another show for another time. Why I believe in the hype and why he's struggling right now, right? Um, uh, nah,
The
I
Ravens are
think
done for
they're
the year.
done for. Yeah, I think they're pretty much done for the year because all Indiana has to do is beat the Jaguars and they're in, and it's between the Raiders and my favorite young quarterback right now, the Chargers, Justin Herbert.
Yo, that's my guy, but I can't blame him. I can blame the decision making at times, but I
Right,
think the whole team, they go up so high
right,
and then they just hit the ground. You know, some games they come in even, other games they come out super flat. They're they're a coin toss, right?
right,
So
right.
they're a coin toss.
So yeah, like the Ravens are pretty much done. But they should feel good about themselves for next year when everybody comes back healthy, have a full training camp, and just reload. Now they have to deal with Joe Barrow and Jamar Chase, and
The new
you
king
know
of
what
the
I'm saying,
north.
those boys up there. You know,
the,
I
the
mean,
new king of the north, man. I was
yeah,
just having this discussion with the other two gentlemen, and they're like, "Pump your brakes, man." It's like you're forgetting about Lamar. I said, "I'm not forgetting about Lamar, but I'm
no,
looking at the injury that Burrow had last year, and then the
right,
fact that they got him Jamar Chase's running buddy. Listen,
right,
they are the first team in NFL history to have a quarterback throw for 4,000 plus yards,
yeah, yep,
have a rusher 1,000 plus,
yep,
and two receivers 1,000 plus yards, and they're
yep,
the youngest team to do it. How are
yep.
you like? Forget the hype. They just told you what this team can do. The potential is just so high, and it's
It's
not that
real high.
yeah, it's not that I downplay Lamar because I think Lamar is still great, but I think Greg Roman has to get out of there. That scheme that they run is not going to work anymore, man. They need to figure out another way to keep Lamar upright because you see, the first 3 years, a lot of running, right? A lot of wear and tear now.
Yes,
Now his
yes,
back's hurting, knees hurting. Come on, man. You trying to run this guy about the league? Or are you trying to keep him there for a long time? And I trust Harbaugh. I'm not saying I don't trust him, but they need to find a way to create a better offense where Andrews is not your only reliable receiver. Brown is reliable, but you see
that's
even
that
with
deep threat. Deep threat. That's the deep threat. So what I've learned in many years of supporting this game is they are going to be running quarterbacks because before Michael Vick, there was Steve Young and John Elway. Those guys recognize like, yo, I can't keep running because it's gonna take years off my
career.
professional age, right? So now they learn how to be more effective in the pocket, and as great as Lamar it is, as you talked about it, as I've talked about it in other shows, he has to be more effective in the pocket because now his like people's schemes are to rush the two edge rushers, not to sack them, but to keep them in the pocket, right? So he like they're saying you have to beat us with your arm, not your legs. So we're taking your legs away and beat us with your arms. So I believe that Lamar needs a possession receiver. He already has a deep threat, and he has his tight end, and he needs another. I call him a wide receiver because the X receiver is your deep threat. Your wide receivers is like your playmaking, like a Michael Irvin. Um, what's his name? Like the guy that got hurt yesterday for the Cowboys, number 13. I'm sorry, guys. Like
Gallup. You're talking
yeah,
about Gallup.
like he needs a big receiver like Gallup or Keenan Allen or Mike Williams that's gonna go up and like make those tough catches. Then if you have Mark Andrews, I I believe he will feel more comfortable staying in the pocket and actually dicing these folks because I think he can throw. I think he could be consistent and effective, but sometimes he doesn't trust his weapons, right? And they, I I've always say that they also pay the defensive players. So you're not just gonna get over year by year. No, they're gonna scheme for you and they're gonna get you. And you have to learn how to play to your weaknesses and not your strength. Like you use your strength to win championships or playoff games, but also use your weaknesses to win regular games and actually preserve your health throughout your long career. Because I mean, I can go back to somebody like Randall Cunningham. He used to run, but he also learned, hey, I will be more effective at delivering the ball in that pocket. So I think that's what the Ravens have to look forward to, which I don't I don't worry about them because they do have a good front office, good general manager, good coach. So it comes all the way down.
Trickles down.